choice that shrinks the world. You open a dashboard, clear the notifications, and the feed still feels strangely predictable. Same topics, same tone, same kinds of people, as if the world outside your screen has been trimmed to fit a template. The cost is subtle, fewer surprises, fewer disagreements worth having, and fewer moments that remind you you are not the center of the map. Customization becomes a cage when a system optimizes what you see for what you already reward, until the easiest choices steadily remove your access to difference. Personalization begins as a promise: less noise, more relevance, faster decisions. That promise is not primarily philosophical. It is operational. A system must decide what to show first, what to hide, what to repeat, and what to stop offering. To do that, it needs measurement, and measurement needs proxies. The proxy is usually engagement: clicks, watch time, scroll depth, response speed, completion, and other traces of attention. The system is constrained by what can be counted at scale and updated quickly. It cannot easily measure whether you became wiser, more patient, or more accurate. It can measure whether you stayed. From that constraint, an incentive appears. If the system is evaluated by retention or activity, it is rewarded for showing items that produce immediate signals. This produces a feedback loop. What you interact with becomes the evidence of what you want, and the evidence is used to show you more of the same. The loop is not malicious, it is efficient. The system behaves as designed. Now consider the trade-off. Relevance reduces search costs, but it raises conformity costs. The more the system narrows your options to things like this, the less likely you are to encounter what you could not have predicted, what you did not know to ask for, or what would have challenged a mistaken assumption. Convenience trades breadth for speed. A second trade-off follows. Personalization increases satisfaction in the short term, while decreasing shared context in the long term. Two people can live in the same building, attend the same meetings, and still inhabit different informational climates because their inputs have been customized by past behavior. When common reference points dissolve, coordination becomes harder. Disagreement turns into incomprehension because the parties are no longer arguing over interpretations of the same events. They are reacting to different selections of reality. The cage is built from defaults and friction. A personalized system reduces friction for the familiar and increases friction for the unfamiliar. The unfamiliar might still exist, but it is buried behind extra searches, extra taps, extra time, costs that compound when attention is scarce. Over time, scarcity becomes the unspoken constraint. With finite minutes and finite energy, the path of least resistance becomes the path of repeated exposure. This is why customization can feel like freedom while functioning like enclosure. Freedom is often defined as more options, but operationally it becomes more options that are easy. The easy options are those already predicted. The predictions are drawn from history. History is drawn from prior exposures. Prior exposures were also predictions. The loop closes. Even outside media feeds, this mechanism appears in workplaces and institutions. Recommendation lists shape what gets read. Auto-filled checklists shape what gets approved. Smart inboxes shape which requests receive a reply. Each layer removes small choices from conscious attention. Each layer saves time, and each layer narrows the set of inputs that can interrupt the pattern. The failure mode is not that the system lies, it is that the system filters. Filtering is the point. The question is which filters you can notice, and which ones you can no longer see because they have become your normal. This is not mainly about taste. It is about attention and responsibility. Attention is the scarce resource through which meaning is formed. What repeatedly enters attention becomes familiar. What is familiar becomes credible. What is credible becomes identity adjacent, and identity defends itself. A personalized environment therefore carries values, whether it admits them or not. It values predictability over discovery, speed over deliberation, comfort over contact. These are not always wrong values. They are often practical. But when they become automatic, they stop being chosen. Choice in a system like this is not merely selecting among visible buttons. Choice includes the conditions under which buttons appear at all. If your environment is engineered to reduce surprise, then surprise begins to feel like a defect. If it is engineered to reduce difference, then difference begins to feel like a threat. The second-order effect is isolation that presents as preference. Shared reality is not a romantic ideal, It is a coordination mechanism. It is what makes language useful and commitments meaningful across time. When personalization fragments that shared layer, the individual may feel more catered to, while the group becomes less able to name what is happening together. The deepest cost is not that you miss content. It is that the range of possible selves you can become shrinks to what the system can infer from your past rewards. A life run through narrow proxies will eventually resemble those proxies. Consider a single disciplined act of reflection. Name one place in your day where your options arrive pre-sorted. An inbox, a feed, a queue, a dashboard, a checklist. And notice what the sorting treats as relevant. Examine the evidence it uses. Is relevance defined by speed, by agreement, by familiarity, by urgency, by past clicks, by prior approvals? Notice what the system cannot measure and therefore cannot prioritize. Then notice the feeling that arises when something unexpected appears. Irritation, curiosity, fatigue, interest. Do not correct it, do not justify it. Simply name it. In that moment you can see the boundary between your choice and your conditioning, between preference and training. Reflection here is not a performance. It is a way of making the hidden constraints visible, so that customized does not silently become inevitable. A cage is often built from conveniences that never announce themselves as walls.